Hi, it's Sichling. Welcome back. So I've been feeling uninspired and depressed with my art for the past 6 months, but I have a snazzy new look now. Bask in my redesigned glory. Anyways, one of the things I do to get out of my art blocks are redraws. Either I redraw a screenshot from my favorite movies, or I revisit one of my old artworks. It's nice to mostly turn my brain off and draw what I see, or if I'm redrawing an old piece of art I've done, I get to see how my art has evolved. I'm going to be redrawing this artwork of my old Warrior Cats OC Sage Tail. Let's get started. So spoiler alert, I actually don't finish this first speed paint because I got to a point where I didn't like it. I debated not even showing this one because what's the point? But then I was like, maybe it's interesting to see the entire process even if it started as a flop. I kind of do like the pose at the bottom though. This one was doomed to fail from the start because I got lazy with thumbnails and just went with the second one I made. Whoopsie number 2 was I also didn't do color thumbnails. So yeah. I tried to make up a background as the main focus to force myself to get better at backgrounds, but then I was like, that's not even the main focus of the redraw, it's the cat that's the main subject. Will I ever force myself to get better at backgrounds? Really don't want to, but I probably should. But that's for future me to deal with. The beginning of this was me trying to remember how I draw cats. This redraw just feels like a test to see how well I can retain my cat drawing skills. Hey, so it's time for the Sage Tail redraw. Are we ready for that? Wait, what? Can we even draw cats anymore? It's been a couple years since our warrior phase was over. You think our warrior cats phase is over? It never leaves us. I actually don't mind the colors I had in the beginning. Very Studio Ghibli. But then I defiled it and put that depressing muddy sky and then it lost me. I tried to make it better with warm colors. That wasn't it. I put in long grass to see if that helped to make it more interesting. Nope. My last-ditch effort to prevent me from starting over was adding some shading to Sage Tail. Maybe it just wasn't looking right because she didn't match with the background's vibe. No, it was just bad. You have to start over. So I did that. This time, I did it right. Not that doing thumbnails isn't right. I mean, if that works for you and you like it, good for you. But also, how do you do that? I feel like any illustration I draw on a whim without planning just crashes and burns. But not this time. So here I am actually trying a couple thumbnails for the composition. I had a little trouble deciding which one because I liked a couple. I felt like this third one could be interesting with the perspective, and I figured that wasn't a wise idea if I'm still rusty with cats. How much of Sage Tail's body did I want to show? The top row was pretty solid composition-wise, but I ended up deciding on this one at the bottom. I never tried many sitting poses, so I figured it'd be something different to try. I then moved on to color thumbnails. I found a couple color palettes I liked and referenced a couple pictures of skies on Pinterest. I couldn't figure out which I liked more because I kind of liked all of them for different reasons. So I took a break from it, as I tend to usually do in the color palette phases. I just love color so much that it's like, how can I possibly choose? At what point could I use the colors I don't use later on? I needed another artist's opinion, so I asked my friend Sleepy what she thought looked best. She pointed out that I should go with the palette that conveys the mood I'm going for, and I was like, you're so right, why didn't I think of that? Also, it makes sense to go with similar color mood of the previous redraws, so I chose this one here. Shout out to Sleepy for snapping me out of my palette paralysis. Go follow her, guys. She's so underrated and her art is awesome. Now that I've gotten the groundwork down, I could finally make some progress. I love how the background colors look here, but I do end up changing some of it later. You'll see why it's for a good reason, I promise. I really want to eat this. It looks like candy. Every time I do this, the cat also gets a slight redesign to reflect the style. It's a constant back and forth with how personified I want to make the cats. I used to give them some emo bangs, but I still can't tell if it fits or not. I decided against it at the time, but at this moment, I'm kind of wondering if the weird fur bangs would give the design more personality. Another dilemma was eyebrows. You won't see me change them until later, but I figured if I gave her stripes on her face where eyebrows would be, it would give the illusion of them. Kind of like Tigress and She-Ra. Her face kind of felt bare otherwise. The last time I did this redraw, I wanted to try out a semi-realistic style, so everything was very detailed and textured, all the way down to the fur. But my style now is the complete opposite from that. The atmospheric lighting is probably the only thing that doesn't change. So, for the setting, if you're familiar with Warrior Cats, I picture this to be in the Fields of Wind clan at the Lake Territories. I never had some deep lore made up for her, so let's just say in this art she's on a dusk patrol or something. Comment what warrior clan you think you'd be from. I like hearing people's different reasons of why they prefer a clan over another. So here I kind of just decided to redo the lighting. I honestly don't remember why, and I don't know why there's such a harsh line on the tail. I probably just accidentally merged a layer and then was just like, okay, I'm just gonna redo all of it. So here I'm cleaning up a bit of the under painting. I don't think that's the right term, but doing the like subtle shading under the lighting shading, if that makes sense. Whatever. And then I'm adding the little like colorful rim lighting on everything. I could not tell you any rhyme or reason to how I put it down, but I just do what looks nice and what I think needs to pop out more. And it seems to work out and it seems to look good most of the time, so, you know. And I carried over a lot of the colors in the sky for flowers and the grass, and I'm putting a bunch of things in the foreground. And I'm not putting too much thought into how detailed the foreground details are because I'm eventually just going to blur them out anyway so that the camera focuses on the cat and it has a nice composition. No, that's the wrong word. So your eye draws more to the cat. I didn't script this part. And now we're on to addressing the background. It was at this point that I realized the colors just didn't match up with everything else. So I'm kind of cleaning it up and blending it out, and I was trucking along, and then I realized the blue was not working, and I was like, oh, now I'm gonna change it, but not right now. Let's just put that aside and work on some other details. So here's the eyebrows that I finally made out of the stripes. Added some whiskers, some more eye details, some more lighting, and I was like praying that this would fix it, that I wouldn't have to go back. But I don't know, something just fell off. I even put the finishing touches and my watermark and everything on there, but nope. I can't convince myself that the blue is fine. So I caved and got rid of the blue sky, which actually makes more sense anyway, because if it's dusk, why would the sky be a light blue? You would instead see the night sky and stars peeking through. That was kind of bars. So there's a little redraw for the end of the year. I'm actually really proud of how unique my art style looks. I remember struggling a lot this year trying to figure out my personal coloring style, and I think I finally did. I'll see you guys next year with more art videos.